1, 2, ready, go. Dan Grider, September 8, 2024. Glad to have you with us on another live Sunday night live stream. Well, it's kind of live. This is videotape, but if you're in the live chat room with us, say hello. Appreciate that. Normally 2,000, maybe 2,500 people in the live chat with us every Sunday night. We're going over accidents, mostly the general aviation fatal accidents that have occurred in the last 7 days. In this case, tonight, we have some fatal accidents to go over, and we have a couple non-fatal to go over. We'll cover all those here in just a moment. But welcome. Let us know where you're checking in from in the live chat, and we certainly appreciate that. Last Sunday night's video is kind of average, maybe a little on the high side, but typically my Sunday night videos try to get around 100,000 views in 6 days before I take them down. Last Sunday night's video just barely broke 100,000 views in 6 days, and here's the graphic for that. It also got about a million minutes watched. So that's the graphic that I look at the most is minutes watched. The number of people watching my videos and paying attention is very, very important. So I appreciate each of you that watch these videos and pay close attention. I'm trying to give you better ideas on ways to stay alive in your airplane. That was last Sunday night. We'll get into the accident data here. I'll put it on the screen here very briefly for you. Here's August, the summary for August. 15 in the month of August, and so far here's September. In the month of September, we've had 5. That's just a sneak peek. We'll get to that in just a moment. Before we do that, I know you all know the DC-3 sale is all complete. The auction is complete. Very happy with the results and all of that. We don't know who the new owner is or where it's going or what the use is going to be. All that's being held via the auction company. That's private information. That'll be released by the new owner at a time and place of their choosing. And so far, even I don't have privy information on that as of yet. So we'll let you know as soon as we know, as soon as that becomes public. And we certainly hope that the DC-3 is going to go to someplace that'll love it and care for it. Last week's video had a little bit of banjo music in it, and I think some of you appreciated my little banjo story that I put in there, and the Tim McGraw song called My Old Friend that I put in there for last week. I'm trying to do more and more videos that have music, original music. That's why this video here has no advertisement, just like most of my videos don't have any advertisement. I can create the music, I can write the script and create the music. I'm trying to do more of that so that you can watch these videos ad-free. There's the educational content. If you'd like to support my work, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, helps me on my travel. If you want tax-deductible donations, you can send them to the DTSB. We are incorporated. We are a 501c3. It's being managed by a CPA firm in Nashville. We've got an excellent board of directors, and your tax-deductible donations can go to this address right here via personal check, or you can still use the GoFundMe if you want to send those. I certainly appreciate you funding the DTSB GoFundMe super fund so that we can get some money in there. I think right now we already have probably close to $7,000 or $8,000 in the DTSB super fund, and it is growing rapidly. We appreciate that. Those funds get used to help me travel and pay for expenses. Those funds are only for expenses already incurred. I can't ask for money in advance for something that I'm about to go do. I can only go do something, save the receipts, and then ask the board to reimburse me for reasonable expenses, mostly food and lodging as I travel. I would like to travel more as my leg becomes better. I'll show you, I'm still in a wheelchair here. I'm probably still about 6 weeks from walking. That's not due to pain or injury or anything like that. The leg was severely shattered. Here's a graphic on the screen to show you exactly what the leg is, but it's not grown together back well enough yet. I got to stay in this wheelchair and on crutches for a little bit more time, and then I will be back to normal walking, and everything will be fine. So I'm really looking forward to that. When I come out of these crutches and stuff like that, I would like to step up the pace on visiting and touring and speaking. If you've got a group club, an EAA club, or anything like that that you want me to come and speak, dinners are really fun. If you want to do a dinner fundraiser where Dan plays his banjo and we do fundraising, I'll talk about AQP and I'll do my normal routine. It is a lot of fun. I want to say thanks to all the people that have supported and everything like that. I still get a lot of snail mail. This one is a special card that came in from my friend Stan, who created this entire special card. I'll read to you just a piece of it here, what he said. I never miss your YouTube. As a retired instructor, I support wholeheartedly your agenda with this probable cause program. No doubt it saves lives. Met you and Dylan last year. Sending my prayers and wishes for your health. Tony Stansbury from Rincon, Georgia. And I appreciate that, Tony. Lots and lots of email and mail traffic coming in. This took a lot of work to create, and I sure appreciate you guys sending snail mail. Yes, the DC-3 did sell. We had a big party Wednesday night on the ramp. Then we all went to dinner. Had both kids, Drew and Dylan, in town and some other people. Here's a picture of us at the table. Frank's Old Mill in Fayetteville, Georgia. If you ever get a chance to go visit this restaurant, really cool little place. One of my favorite guitar players, Mr. Reed, plays there almost every night. He came and joined us at our table since I was in there, and he and I have been friends for a little while. And at the very, very end, after we got done eating dinner, Mr. Reed asked me to be a guest appearance on stage, which is not really a stage. It's kind of a little cubby hole in Frank's Old Mill. Here's a little clip of that. It's a celebration at Frank's Old Mill with my friend Mr. Reed, and this is a very classic 1971 Neil Young guitar, a piece of absolute work here from 1971. It used to be a 12-string guitar. Mr. Reed and I are going to compile here just a little bit of music. We have not rehearsed this, but you got to help me out, Mr. Reed. I can't play the whole song that we played because then I'd get pinged for a copyright and they'd put ads on this, but that was the introduction to it. My leg is good. I've been going to the workout. My personal trainer, you might recognize, has been extra hard on me.
So I got 3 more. 3 more. 2 more. Still got 2 more. Go 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. 1 more, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 1 more. Nice. How do you feel about that?
It's hard. I think my leg is going to be totally good for November 5. November 5 is when we leave for Tenerife. We are leaving out of Newark, New Jersey, the evening of November 5. You can get to Tenerife via whatever method that you would like to. If you want to go with us on our Tenerife trip, we're going to meet at Tenerife North. Remember, there's 2 airports at Tenerife. Tenerife South is where we fly into. Then it's about an hour drive to Tenerife North where we're going to stay. Still don't have hotels picked out, but there's a United flight out of Newark the evening of November 5 that's wide open and very economical round trip out of Newark, New Jersey. If you'd like to go with us, this is the 747 collision trip that we're going to go do. We're looking into what happened over there. A little investigation tour. I'm not a tour guide, but if you'd like to go with us and hang with us, we're all going to stay at the same hotel and all have our meals together, and should be a lot of fun in Tenerife. That's November 5. We should be back, flying back out of Tenerife South on November 8, coming back to the United States. Send me an email if you'd like more information on that. Already about 25 people going on that trip, so it sounds really good. Here's a little bit of data. I've included this before. Here's some shocking data. NTSB, the job of the NTSB is to investigate all general aviation accidents and form a probable cause and a recommendation. The probable cause and the recommendation are supposed to go hand in hand together. Absolutely. Well, they always do a probable cause, even though half the time they say for undetermined reasons, but they always do a probable cause of some kind. Let's take a look at the data. I just got curious here. Since January 1 of 1995, how many investigations, now this is just general aviation and just in America, how many general aviation accidents has the NTSB investigated, fully investigated since January 1, 1995? Well, here's the answer right here. More than 41,000 accidents. That's a full investigation and a report and all that stuff. Out of 41,000 general aviation accidents in America, how many recommendations have they given us? Well, here it is right here, 94. Doesn't seem like we're getting any recommendations, any way to change. NTSB wants to keep the wreckage, hoard the data. They keep everything in this docket. They won't release the docket. We still don't have the docket or any information from the Challenger crash in Florida. We still don't have the flight data recorder or the cockpit voice recorder. Obviously, NTSB knows what happened. They could be sharing that information, and they're not. The whole thing is completely crazy. I want to talk a little bit about FAA. FAA has a huge, also, just like NTSB, a huge social media budget. They're spending money on social media to try to get more people friendly with the FAA and not be opposed to the FAA. They've taken to a YouTuber named Kay to, in my opinion, paid advertising. This little girl, very cute, Fly with Kay. She has a YouTube channel, very nice, and she's done an endorsement for the FAA. Here it is.
My biggest advice to you as a pilot, if you have a question about something, don't be afraid to talk to the FAA. And the biggest reason for that being is they are there to help you. Yes, they do get some people in trouble. That's just life. If you make a mistake, they're going to be paying attention to that. However, the biggest thing you have to keep in mind is you're human and so are they. So just talk things through, get clarification, don't be afraid of them, and ultimately tell that to all of your other pilot friends too, because the more we can work with the FAA, the more they'll work with us.
Now, my problem with Kay is that she is utilizing her looks and her body to try to attract viewers. She's always putting these provocative pictures. She has plenty of bust line and plenty of cleavage to show. I just don't think that that's professional for a YouTuber in aviation. We could leave all that sexy stuff out of there, leave the lace out of those pictures, and no wonder FAA has hired her to be their spokeswoman for the FAA. It's because all us old guys want to look at stuff like that, and maybe we'll listen. Well, FAA's YouTube channel is not really highly successful. Here's a screen grab from the most recent videos that FAA's YouTube channel has. So far, in the last 28 days, my YouTube channel has 3.6 million minutes watched. Theirs has 0.12 million minutes watched. That's just barely over 100,000 minutes watched in the last 28 days. But they're doing that. FAA also has got this huge thing still on DEI. They're convinced that they have to hire people based on race, color, or sexual orientation, not on most qualified. Here's a video that FAA has in their arsenal right now concerning diversity.
In order for this industry to prosper and to continue to prosper and to go the way it's going, we have to create more opportunities for diversity and allowing more people in. A large part of that also means putting in financial resources to help those who are underserved and who although may not necessarily come from the background that can afford this financially, they still have the brains up here that they can make it happen.
I'm not much of a fan. I'd rather just give it to you straight. If you want to, I'll show you some of my cleavage. Maybe that'll get me some more views as well, or maybe not. But I digress. Let's talk about EAA and FAA. EAA, I'm still working on this project up at EAA. The entire thing for EAA, the fun fly zone where they created the airspace where anybody could do what they want to, inside the Class D without control tower permission to go launch airplanes and fly around. No waivered airspace, no air boss, no control D, no nothing. No wonder we have near misses and accidents. The accident from last year, the fatal, where two aircraft ran into each other, 2 people died and 2 survived up there. The rest of it, EAA AirVenture arrival procedures is completely archaic, and I'm going to continue to beat this up. You cannot fly into AirVenture and expect to do well on their stuff. What they're not going to tell you in their NOTAM is that they're going to require you to end up on a 500-foot downwind and hook turn to final, and then they're going to tell you what to do with the power, add power or take power away, land on a dot, fly long, fly it down the runway. They yell at you. The entire thing is completely non-stabilized. I don't see how they're getting away with it. EAA has somehow got in the pockets of FAA, and you have no brashers. A brasher is a violation for something intentionally done wrong at AirVenture. How can we stop the absolute idiot operators up there from flying and going the wrong way, not following instructions, crossing runways, runway incursions? EAA has somehow exempt their air show from Brasher's at EAA AirVenture via the FAA. I don't understand how that's even possible. It's still a civil airport. It's still civil FAA rules. There's no way to get around the Brasher, and they have for years. Even in the year 2024, all the wrong ways, runway incursions, and all the problems. How many Brashers at EAA AirVenture 2024? 0. Not a single one, and I don't understand how that's even possible. Here's one more clip of me coming into AirVenture in the year 2021. Remember, I've only had the DC-3 up there 3 times in the last recent years. I brought it in the year 2010 for the mass arrival. I also brought it in 2017 to give the flight shops ride. And then the last time I was there was in 2021. When I came in 2021, I followed all instructions. As you can hear Glenn clearly tell you here, we had EAA permission for me to fly in 2021, and that's the last time that I was there. There was no problem prior to 2021.
So Dan arrived at Oshkosh, and the tower told him to take a left on the taxiway. The ground crew told him to take a left on the taxiway, and now we've got a bunch of T6s over here that are parked right up against the taxiway that he can't get past, and the ground crew over here being complete A-wipes to they don't like Dan, and so they're making it as difficult as possible. Now they're saying they're gonna make him leave.
All right, I got to go over the accident data. That's what you're here for. Here's August. I got August and September printed out. I'll put it on the screen for you right now. This is August 2024. We ended up, now this is the summary as of the last day of August. We ended up in the first 245 days of August, which is long since passed. We ended up with 97 fatals. 15 of them were in the month of August, which put us at 12.075 fatals per month, which is 26 less than we had in the year previous for the exact same amount of days. Now, let's take a look at the last 5 on this thing. I want to show you the last 5 that we didn't really get to report on. The Cessna 206, the go-around. I believe this was Charles Brown from Phoenix, although I don't know. That's definitely his airplane and his address. I'm not sure who was in the airplane. 2 people died. This is a one-way in airport. He had been, Mr. Brown, if that was him flying it, he had been to Johnson Creek before. He had practiced in June. On this particular landing, he landed a long ways down. He bounced. He attempted to go around. He could not outclimb the terrain, and he stalled it into the tops of the trees. Big fireball. Here's some pictures of the airplane and the wreckage from out there. No way to survive this thing. Very, very poor planning on this runway at Johnson Creek. You need to touch down on speed early and plan on stopping. You cannot go around late at Johnson Creek. You cannot outclimb that terrain out there, and that's exactly what happened on this Turbo 206. The very next one after that is the glider. That's the stall spin. His name was Dieter Schmidt, 84 years old. Somehow that tow rope did not release or released early or something, but caused that airplane to nose over. This is on the initial takeoff, a tow plane pulling a glider. Then the Cessna 421C out in Oregon. They said it was a test flight, November 421 Golf Papa. Here's a picture of it. Michael Busher, age 73. I previously said that this was a VMC rollover. That's before I got to see this video. I'll put this video on the screen right now. This doesn't really look like a VMC rollover, but it was flying fast with the left wing down, the gear down, and full flaps. I'm not sure what they were doing this far away from the airport, gear down and full flaps. This airplane impacted the wires and then blew up. Here's a video of it again. Check it out right here. Here it is hitting the wires right here, and you can see this thing hit. I have no idea. The twin Cessna market, actually all the piston twin market, is plagued with VMC rollers and control problems and things like that. That extra engine sometimes is just the kiss of death. You have to absolutely know what you're doing in a multi-engine airplane and be ready for this. What was the control issue that he reported having in flight? We don't know. I can't guess. It sure looks like that 421 coming out of maintenance. I don't think the airplane had flown for a very long time, and that's all we got on this thing. The very next one, 2912 Tango, I previously reported it as a Lark The 200, I didn't even have a chance to look up what this thing was. Turns out now we have a little bit better information. This was a Myers 200. This airplane crash happened on takeoff, and once again the nose wheel came up and it pulled to the left. This thing flew into the hangar kind of in ground effect. Plenty of opportunity to chop the throttle and stop, but he was still trying to get it flying as it flew to the left and impacted this hangar. This is very, very similar to the Bonanza in Oklahoma City from a few weeks ago. Remember, on your takeoff, if this isn't right, if you've got aft CG, if you've got elevator mistrimmed or something like that, this nose wheel is going to come off the ground early. It's going to try to get you airborne early, and it's going to pull you left. That's how come you need so much right rudder on these high-power engine takeoffs. The torque is pulling you to the left. You don't have enough rudder, and I think he got it at very low speed in the air, and it pulled him to the left. That's all I can tell so far. That's the Myers out there in the state of California. The very next one, the PA-18, this is Super Cub in Alaska, stall spin. Carrie Foster, age 58. Still no further information other than the fact that they said it definitely stalled. It didn't necessarily fly into terrain. Could have been a box canyon type of thing, but I really don't know. So there's our data for the month of August. Once again, month of August actually came out pretty good. 123 fatals in the year 2023. 97 in the year 2024. That was 26 less as we finished up the month of August. All right, now let's take a look at September. September has started off with a roar. I'm not very happy about this. On September 1, this airplane out in Wyoming here. Here's the N number for it. November 23 Bravo Delta. Here's a picture of it. Still don't have a pilot's name. The passenger got killed. The pilot did survive. Maybe we'll be able to get a little bit of information. The next one, November 223 Charlie Lima. This is an Apex. It's a trike. David Bauer, age 50. All they tell me is that he was flying. He was above a garage, and somehow this is one of those triangular wing-shaped things with a trike beneath it and a little engine that pushes it through the sky. It's a trike. I'm not much of a fan, but this apparently stalled, hit nose down into the top of a garage roof, and Mr. Bowers did not survive that accident. Very next one is 9659 Lima. This is a Grumman, hit really close to home here. Just out here in Paulding County, there's a school, Flying Tigers Flight School, Part 61 club school type thing. They've got several Grummans, hence the name Flying Tigers. The instructor was about 26 years old. The student was about 26 years old. Sung-wook Lee, I'm sorry, they were both 27 years old. Hit vertical, looks like a stall spin, looks like an engine problem attempting to turn right and go back to Paulding County when they all of a sudden made a left-hand turn, maybe aimed for an open field. Just don't know yet, but it was not survivable. It stall spun and hit vertical. The impact area, I saw a helicopter picture of this thing. It hit almost vertical out there, and I don't think this was the spot they intended to make it to. I think they intended to glide it to someplace safe and just ran out of energy there at the very end. Here's the very last one. I'll put this up on the screen here. This is actually the second to the last. This is the PA-46350 in Indiana. This is stall spin. Joseph Scallon, age 68.
What are we, about the 4300 block of East 100 South? What I can tell you right now is this is a single engine plane that departed from Fort Dodge, Iowa around 6:48 this morning. It was projected to land in Anderson Airport at 9:54. At some point the plane was making its initial approach to the Anderson Airport. They were too high. They were told to reroute and make another approach. And eyewitnesses saw the plane kind of flying in the south direction here and possibly trying to turn to head back towards the airport. He described it as flipping over and just nose diving into the cornfield, bursting into flame.
Winds were out of the northwest going into this little airport in Indiana. They came in from the northwest, and the control tower told them that they were hot. I think that means that they were high and fast, and they elected to go around. In their go around from landing to the east, this airplane pulled up and to the right, and the wreckage was found southeast of the airport. Also a stall spin, hit vertical, huge fireball, 4 people on board, no way to survive. This is another messed up go around. This is somebody that did not properly fly their go around or was not ready for their go around. I want you to be ready for your go around. practice your go-arounds. You add power, lower the nose, keep your wings level, and don't do a thing until you're cleaned up, flaps up, gear up, and climbing, and everything's good. Then you can think about a turn. These go-arounds are deadly. They will kill you. All right, here's the last one. I'll put it up on the screen here for you. This is November 53466. This is a Boeing Stearman. His name is Chris Paulson, 72 years old, highly accomplished pilot, probably 40,000 hours. He flew for Alaska. He was extremely experienced. I think he's owned that same exact Stearman since around 1990. Here's the path he went. I'll show you on a graphic here. This is the flight aware data dropped in here to show you exactly where he went. And his choice was, as he flew down the river here, notice he's going this way. And I'll take a little digression here and show you right down here. This is the spot on the same Columbia River. This is the spot right here where the money was found in the DB Cooper. This is Tina Bar. This is where the money was found. But look at where he was. His choice getting over to Hood River was to go over the terrain or go a few miles out of the way and follow the river to Hood River, which he could have done without having to encounter the terrain. Looks to me like he entered this box canyon right here. Maybe couldn't outclimb it, but it sure looks like he was well below the terrain. The Stearman with two people in on a hot day, it can climb, but don't know if he had any kind of extra problem or if it was just too hot and boxed himself in. Still no way to know. Mr. Paulson did survive. It's his passenger in the front seat that did not survive, so maybe we'll get a little bit better information on what the scenario was. I can tell you, I don't like flying over that kind of stuff out there. If I have the choice of going a few miles to go around and stay over something landable, I definitely will. I don't like flying low over that terrain. It's inhospitable terrain. You have an engine off or a power problem out there or get yourself boxed into something, it can definitely be deadly. All right, that's it for August. I'm going to put the graphic up on the screen here. Make sure you take a look here. So far in the month of, that's September. In the month of September in 2023, we had 125 general aviation fatals. As of today, which is September 8, we only got 102. That's 23 less. That means in the first 251 days of 2023, we had 15.189 fatals per month. And as of today, we have 12.345. Not really a number that I'm very proud of. I wanted that 12 to be going back down a little bit, but still far, far better than the year 2023. 251 days in the month of 2023. That's because of leap year. 252 in the year 2024. I'll put the graphic up on the screen here for our color graphic to show you exactly where we're at on this thing. This is built by Landon Cohen, our NTSB data analyst that keeps up with this stuff and builds our graphics for us on all that. All right, I only got two more accidents I'm going to talk about real quick, and then we're going to get on to the closer on this thing. These two are both non-fatal, at least so far. November 9020 X-ray is a Cessna 182 up in Michigan, found upright in a cornfield with nobody on board. Still a little bit of a mystery here on what happened here. I've heard all kinds of speculation concerning drugs and somebody stole it, somebody was drunk, who knows. I still don't have a name or any further information on this airplane. It was owned by a local guy who does live very, very close to where this airplane landed in the corn, but I have a lot of people call me on the phone and say, hey, there was an airplane landed in the corn. Was that you? No, that was not me, although I have landed in the corn before. That one was not me, and if I land in the corn, I'll greet the emergency personnel and shake their hand and say thank you for coming out. All good. The next one is this Comanche in Hawthorne, California. The N number on this thing is November 588 Charlie Papa. I don't understand this. This airplane had not flown for about 8 years. It was on a test flight at 1 a.m. It ended up wings level on final, short of the runway. Did not make it to the airport. I don't know what happened. Sure looks like out of gas, but I cannot believe that they would be on a local test flight without enough fuel in this airplane. So far, both guys are alive, although the airplane did burn. First responders and bystanders actually pulled both of these guys out of it alive before the fire got too hot. Big thanks to the local first responder, bystander, innocent citizens that ran towards the fire and grabbed human bodies and pulled them out of that thing. They should be very, very thankful to be alive from that loss of another Comanche. The Comanche is a fantastic airplane. I've enjoyed doing the Comanche Zooms recently with the Comanche Owners Group. All that's a lot of fun. remember to put some gas in your plane. If you're going to do a test flight and your airplane hasn't flown for 8 years, I got a great idea. How about if you do it during the daytime and have some backups and some outs on things like that? Test flights are horrible. You're going to have something go wrong on a test flight. Don't do your test flight at 1 a.m. Makes no sense to me. All right, I'm going to get out of here and get this video up and on the air. It is Sunday night. Thanks for jumping in here with us. We appreciate all your help and support. The DC-3, it's gone, and very, very happy to be closing that chapter and moving on. I got a lot of video stuff, documentary stuff I'd like to be doing in the future. I'm totally in love with video editing. I like the editing process. I like the video aspect of all this, and I think I'm going to start doing more video. I can add my own script, my own music, my own creation, and my own video on top of that stuff and still get my story told, and I sure appreciate that. I'm going to get this video up and on the air for my tiny little itty-bitty fledgling YouTube channel, Dan Grider. Probable cause.
I see you now from the side. I see the way you look at the sky. I can't keep you any longer.